The movie opens in Brightburn, Kansas, where Kyle and Tori are trying to have a baby. Then suddenly, the whole house shakes, the power goes out, and a bright red light appears outside. Now, most normal people would see a glowing alien crash in the woods and call the army, the government, the priest, and maybe their mom. But Kyle and Tori find a baby inside the spaceship and basically go, "Free child from space? Lovely. Let's keep him." And look, I get it. They wanted a baby. It feels like a miracle. But come on, if a baby falls from the sky inside a UFO, maybe ask one or two follow-up questions before putting him in the family photo album. 10 years later, that baby is Brandon. Tori loves him completely, and they have this little whistle game where she whistles and Brandon whistles back. It's cute now, but because this is a horror movie, you already know that Whistle is going to come back later, sounding like a cursed ice cream van. Brandon seems like a normal kid at first. He's smart, quiet, a bit awkward. At school, his teacher asks a question about bees, and Brandon gives the perfect answer. He even talks about a species that forces other insects to raise its young. And I'm sorry, but that is not just a biology lesson. That is foreshadowing standing on a desk, waving a red flag. Some kid mocks him, but a girl named Caitlin tells Brandon that smart guys like him rule the world, which is a terrible thing to say to a child who is about 5 minutes away from believing he literally should. That night, something in the barn starts glowing red. Brandon has a violent seizure in his sleep, his bed shakes, his eyes glow, and then he jumps out the window like gravity has been canceled. Tori hears something outside and goes looking. She spots Brandon near the laundry, then follows him to the barn, where he's muttering strange words and trying to open a chained hatch. He says he was hearing voices. Tori says it was probably sleepwalking. Sleepwalking? Mate, if your child is glowing, chanting alien nonsense, and trying to unlock the forbidden barn hole, that is not sleepwalking. That is the trailer for your own death. The next day, Brandon starts discovering his powers. He gets frustrated with a lawnmower, throws it across the yard like it's made of cardboard, then sticks his hand into the spinning blades and breaks the machine without getting hurt. Brandon is shocked. And fair enough, 1 minute you're a normal kid, the next minute you're bullying garden equipment. For his birthday, the family goes to a diner. Tori's sister Marilee is there with her husband Noah, and Noah gives Brandon a hunting rifle as a present, which is wild. Who looks at an emotionally unstable 10-year-old and thinks, you know what this birthday needs? Firepower. Kyle takes it away, Brandon gets angry, slams the table, and all the arcade machines turn off. Again, the signs are not subtle anymore. The red flags have started paying rent. At home, Kyle and Tori talk about Brandon changing. Tori wants to believe it's just normal growing up. Kyle is worried, but not worried enough to start Googling alien child weakness. Then at breakfast, Brandon casually chews on a fork and bends it with his teeth. Kyle pulls it out, and Brandon snaps back like he had no idea what he was doing. That is not puberty. That is demon Superman behavior. Later, Tori finds disturbing pictures hidden under Brandon's mattress. Women in underwear, human organs, and creepy drawings. So now we've gone from awkward kid to future serial killer Pinterest board. Kyle wants to deal with it, but Tori keeps trying to explain things away because she loves him. And that's the real horror here. She's not stupid. She's a mom who cannot accept that the child she raised might be the monster. During a camping trip, Kyle tries to have the awkward body changes talk with Brandon. But Brandon misunderstands it in the creepiest way possible and asks if he should start now. Kyle shuts that conversation down instantly, and honestly, fair enough. There are some chats you don't finish. You just pack the tent and stare into the fire. That night, Brandon disappears. At the same time, Caitlin is asleep at home when her laptop starts playing a love song by itself. She closes it, but it starts again. Then the curtains move, and Brandon appears outside her window. This kid is not flirting. He is haunting. Her mom Erica runs in, but Brandon vanishes. Back at the campsite, Kyle and Tori find Brandon standing in the woods. He claims he only left to pee, sure mate, because nothing says quick bathroom break like standing in the forest at night like a mini Slender Man. At school, Brandon starts drawing a strange symbol and designing a costume. Meanwhile, the family chickens start freaking out at night. Kyle goes to investigate and finds Brandon standing near the coop. Later, all the chickens are dead, and Kyle thinks Brandon killed them. Tori blames a wolf, because apparently wolves can now break locks and leave creepy alien children nearby for atmosphere. Then Brandon gets into trouble at school. During gym class, Caitlin refuses to touch him during a trust exercise and calls him a pervert. The teacher forces her to help him up, so Brandon crushes her hand until it breaks. And this is where the kid goes from weird to absolutely not. The police can't really do much because he's a child, but Erica is furious, and Brandon clearly doesn't care. At home, Kyle finally learns what happened in the barn, and he starts putting it together. Brandon has never been hurt by anything, but now other people are getting hurt by him. Then Brandon hears the voices again and translates the alien message. Take the world. Not be kind, not clean your room. Take the world. That spaceship is not parenting him. It is giving villain instructions. Brandon breaks into the barn hatch, and the red light takes over. Tori finds him floating in the air, and when he falls into the hole, a piece of the spaceship cuts his hand. That's important, because it's the first thing that actually hurts him. Tori climbs down and finally tells him the truth. He came from the spaceship. They found him inside and raised him as their son. Brandon is furious because they lied to him. And honestly, the kid has a point for about 3 seconds, until he starts smashing things and shooting lasers into the rain. At that point, sympathy leaves the building. Brandon goes to Caitlin's room and tells her the whole world will know he's special. When she says her mom doesn't want her talking to him, Brandon says he'll take care of that. And now we all know Erica is in danger. At the diner, Erica is closing up when the lights flicker and Brandon's symbol appears on the windows. A light explodes, glass cuts into her eye, and while she's bleeding and terrified, Brandon stalks her through the diner in his homemade mask. She hides in the freezer, but he cuts through the door with laser vision and attacks her. So yes, this child has officially become a tiny cape nightmare. The next day, Brandon acts like nothing happened. The police find the destroyed diner, Erica is missing, and Brandon goes to counseling with Marilee. She asks how he feels about being adopted, and Brandon says he's special and superior. Fantastic. That's exactly what you want to hear from a kid who can fly and melt people. Marilee says she has to write a report for the sheriff, so Brandon visits her house at night and tells her not to. She tells him to leave, but later Noah finds Brandon hiding in the closet wearing his mask. Noah drags him outside and tries to take him home, but Brandon attacks. He lifts Noah's truck into the air and drops it, causing a horrific crash that kills him. Back home, Brandon lies and says he was playing soccer. Kyle and Tori know he's lying, but what are they supposed to do? Ground him? Take away his Xbox? This kid can throw a truck. Parenting has left the chat. Kyle searches Brandon's room and finds Noah's bloody shirt. He finally accepts the truth. Brandon killed Noah, and he's not their son anymore. Tori still doesn't want to believe it. And this is where it starts feeling a bit like Get Out in reverse. Everyone can see something is wrong, but the person closest to the monster keeps pretending the red flags are just decorations. The sheriff starts connecting Brandon's symbol to the diner and Noah's crash. Meanwhile, Kyle decides to take Brandon hunting, pretending it's a bonding trip. But really, Kyle plans to kill him. And look, that's dark, but at this point, what's the alternative? Put him in timeout and hope the alien voices calm down? Kyle waits until Brandon turns around and shoots him in the head. But the bullet does absolutely nothing. Brandon turns around like Kyle just threw a raisin at him. Kyle tries to reload, but Brandon disappears, then attacks him and kills him with laser vision straight through the eyes. At home, Tori keeps calling Kyle. When someone finally answers, it's Brandon. He tells her Kyle is gone and that he's home. Then the house starts shaking. Tori panics and calls 911 as Brandon tears through the walls like the world's worst renovation show. The sheriff arrives with a deputy, but Brandon kills him almost instantly, smashing him into a column. Then he kills the deputy too, moving so fast she barely sees him before he's behind her. Tori hides under the bed, and Brandon starts whistling their little game. And now that cute whistle from the beginning is officially ruined forever. That's not adorable anymore. That's death doing karaoke. Tori escapes through the window and remembers the spaceship metal can hurt Brandon. She runs to the barn, activates the ship, and finds Erica's dissected body surrounded by Brandon's symbol. So yeah, her son hasn't just been killing people. He's been making a scrapbook of horror. Tori grabs a piece of the spaceship metal and calls to Brandon using their whistle game. He appears, and she tries one last time to reach the boy she raised. She tells him she loves him, removes his mask, hugs him, and gets ready to stab him. But Brandon stops her easily. Then he grabs her, flies high above the clouds, and drops her to her death. To cover everything up, Brandon crashes a plane into the house, killing everyone on board and destroying the evidence. The next morning, he pretends to be the poor surviving victim while rescue workers comfort him. And that is terrifying, because now he knows how to hide. He knows how to lie. And nobody left alive knows what he really is. Later, the news shows disasters happening everywhere, with Brandon's shadow appearing near the scenes. He burns his symbol into a field, while a conspiracy guy online warns people about aliens living among them. And the worst part is, the conspiracy guy is right, which is how you know the world is in serious trouble. And that's Brightburn, a superhero origin story if the hero skipped the morals and went straight to world domination. Tori and Kyle loved Brandon, but love wasn't enough to stop what he was. Kyle realized too late. Tori accepted it too late. And Brandon, he didn't become a hero. He became the warning sign. If you liked the something is very wrong in this house, tension, the creepy kid energy, and people ignoring obvious red flags until it's way too late, then click my Barbarian recap on screen now. That one has the same feeling of danger hiding inside a normal place, except instead of an alien child, It's an Airbnb from hell with tunnels nobody should ever enter. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with what movie I should cover next. Then go watch Barbarian, and I'll see you over there.